Whether it's at work, at home, or with your friends, we all run into disagreements. It just happens. But what if there was a clear roadmap to navigate them? Well, today we're unpacking exactly that, a practical guide to turn those moments of friction into some really powerful opportunities for connection. So let's dive right in.
I mean, we've all been there, right? That incredibly frustrating moment when you and someone else are just not on the same page, and you feel totally, completely stuck. It's a universal human experience, and it's exactly what we're going to tackle today.
And look, this is the first thing we've got to get our heads around. Conflict isn't some sign that everything's broken. It's actually a natural, even predictable result of people with different opinions, different values, and different goals all trying to interact. So the real question isn't how do we avoid it, it's how do we handle it well when it shows up.
So how do we do that? Well, you need the right tools. I want you to think of this next part as your personal conflict resolution toolkit, just packed with practical strategies you can learn and actually use to find a constructive path forward, no matter what the situation is.
Okay, so first things first, what are we even talking about here? Conflict resolution isn't about winning an argument. It's about, and this is so important, facilitating the peaceful ending of conflict. See, the goal completely shifts from victory to harmony, from winning to understanding. And believe me, that one shift in perspective, it changes everything. All right, so our toolkit has 4 essential tools, and each one is for a different job. First up, you've got negotiation. This is your starting point, right? It's just the people involved, talking directly, trying to hash things out and reach a consensus. It's perfect when both sides are willing to talk in good faith. Now, if you get stuck, you can move to mediation. This brings in a neutral third party, not a judge, just a guide, to help you find that common ground. Then you've got arbitration. This is for when you really need a final decision. A neutral third party comes in, listens to both sides, and makes a binding ruling. Think of it for more serious disputes. And finally, my personal favorite, collaborative problem solving. This is where you actually team up with the other person to create a solution that benefits everyone. It's about finding that true win-win and making the relationship even stronger. Okay, so we've got the tools, but why does this actually matter? Why should we get good at this? Because the benefits go so far beyond just ending one argument. Finding that common ground creates this amazing positive ripple effect that can seriously change our relationships, our workplaces, and yeah, even our whole communities.
First and foremost, good conflict resolution is like a circuit breaker. It stops that little spark of disagreement from catching fire and turning into a massive, damaging blaze. By dealing with things early and effectively, you keep them contained.
And you can see exactly how this dangerous path unfolds. It all starts with something small, a simple difference of opinion. But if you ignore it, if it's left to fester, it starts to simmer into resentment and even hostility. And before you know it, you're in the middle of a major dispute that is way harder to solve. Getting in there early cuts this whole process off right at the start. But here's the really cool part, the transformation. When you resolve a conflict constructively, you're not just putting out a fire, you're actually building something better in its place. Misunderstanding turns into real understanding. Resentment gets replaced by trust. You can actually come out of it with a bond that's stronger than it was before the disagreement even began. And think about this at work, right? A company culture where people know how to handle conflict, well, that naturally leads to better teamwork, way less stress for everyone, and higher productivity. Why? Because people feel fundamentally safe, they feel heard, and they feel valued. And hey, this isn't just about other people. The personal benefits are huge. Every time you engage in this process, it's like a workout for your brain. You're sharpening your critical thinking, you're boosting your problem-solving skills, and by facing these issues head-on, you're drastically improving your own emotional well-being by getting rid of all that pent-up anxiety and frustration. Now, if we zoom out one last time, like way out, these skills are pretty much the bedrock of a healthy society. It's simple. Communities where people have these skills just have better social cohesion. It's the foundation for justice, for peace, and for a society that can actually come together to solve its biggest challenges. All right, we've seen the tools, and we get why they're so critical on every level. But now, for the most important part, let's bring this all back to you and how you can put this toolkit to use in your very next conversation. If you remember just one thing from all of this, let it be this goal. The next time you feel a disagreement brewing, just stop and ask yourself, what can I do right now to help create a peaceful ending? Let that be your North Star. So think about that toolkit we just looked at, negotiation, collaboration, all of them. The real first step isn't just picking one. It's actually just taking a breath and choosing to see the other person as a partner in finding a solution, not an enemy to be defeated. With that mindset, which approach feels like the right one for the next challenge you face? The power to turn that conflict into connection is right there, just waiting for you to take that first step.